I feel like I kind of always go back to alcohol. Well, you guys, like, I mean, I haven't made a video on this specifically. I will. I probably will. I should. But I was an alcoholic. I used to drink a lot of alcohol. It was bad. It was horrible. Like everyday type of shit. Like it was bad. Like I would consider myself an alcoholic at that time. I'm not no more. I don't drink. Um, but I was, and for many years. And I feel like that was one reason why I didn't really feel anxiety, because when I was drinking alcohol, doing a certain drug, and smoking, it's like I just numb myself. I wouldn't feel anything. But that was my goal, why I wanted to drink. I just didn't want to feel anything. I I didn't want to feel anything, so I didn't feel anxious. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel anything. Once I stopped drinking, once I stopped doing this certain drug, once I stopped smoking weed, this was like 3 years ago, I think. Um, During like the beginning of the whole COVID thing and everything, I just like I I was like, yo, like this is, I couldn't do it anymore. And once I stopped doing those things, it was like a month. I think it was like in March or April, and I was like, dude, like I just need to stop. I need to stop it all. Like this is going nowhere good. It just kept going downhill, dude. Like it was bad, like bad, bad. And once I stopped doing those things, um, that's when I like really experienced anxiety. I feel like I kind of build it up, with hiding my feelings, preventing my feelings with alcohol and drugs, and not feeling anything, not really expressing it, like not letting it feel like, I just kept pushing it and pushing it. It just all came to me. It's like I was just building it up inside and building it up, and it hit me hard. I mean, it was also, I think, the withdrawals a little bit, because it's not easy, obviously I wanted to recover. I wanted to recover myself. I wanted to find myself again, and that's all process. It's all the healing process. And, that's like when I experienced anxiety for like the first time. I didn't even call it anxiety, but that's because I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was just like, oh, I'm going through withdrawals. I didn't feel right, because there was times I wanted to just drink again and just be like, dude, fuck this, because that was my thing. I was like, dude, fuck all of this, like, and it was hard, and I was just so used to that. I was so used to drinking and smoking and just escaping, and it was like, okay, well, I wasn't escaping no more, so I was just here, and I just like, it was just all this buildup. And it was during the whole COVID thing, and like I'm telling you, it's just all of these overthinking, because okay, like it was during COVID, right? And like I said, I mean, the withdrawals, like you guys, like I was literally getting like headaches, which then I thought was like, I'm telling you, it's all overthinking, because I'd have a headache and I'd be like, fuck, am I getting migraines now? Like what's going on? I just keep getting this headache, and I'm like, what if it's like a tumor? Like this and that. And now, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, that's like my experience. And I've heard other stories like this too, like, and then that's you just making your anxiety, like, because you're just getting anxious. You're having all these thoughts, bad thoughts, and I'd be like, dude, what the fuck, and like I said, I didn't know it was really anxiety. I didn't even think they were like withdrawals at first, until after I was like, okay, like, because I started to feel, and I started meditating. I started journaling, and meditating, you guys, like, has helped me so much. It really helped me connect to myself, and like, you just like get the answers, like, and I was like, okay, my body is like, obviously I was used to all that shit and putting all this shit on me. It's like my body kind of like craves it, but I really don't, and you have to fight it, and you just have to like, I really didn't want it, yeah, my body maybe have wanted it, but I didn't, I feel like because I mean, the whole COVID thing too, it was just everything, you guys. Like, I feel like everything it was just so much stuff. I'd get heat flashes, and I'd think, fuck, what if I'm getting sick? What if I'm getting COVID? But I wouldn't even go out, you guys. Like, I was home the whole time. And, I'd start thinking that, and like, people died because of COVID. People were really sick, and I'd think like, okay, I'm getting heat flashes. Fuck, I'm getting sick. I'm going to get super sick, this, and that. That's like, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, and it was just like all these thoughts and feelings that now I was experiencing that I had never experienced before because I was numb all the time. I wasn't present. I wasn't here, and that was, but still, I wouldn't say I'm having anxiety. Like, you guys, like, I remember the fucking day. Like, I couldn't fucking sleep. And like, I had, what's it called? Insomnia? Insomnia? Where you can't sleep at night. Like, you guys, I really couldn't sleep. And like, it was just bad. Like, I know it was like the withdrawals, but then like the anxiety would hit, and it was just like it's a horrible fucking feeling. Like, horrible feeling. And it was just me overthinking shit, and I wasn't sleeping because I just had all these thoughts, and I had gotten laid off too because of COVID, and I was like, fuck, like, now I don't have a job. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? How am I gonna do it? Like, I was literally like overthinking and stressing myself, and I didn't have faith, I was disconnected to myself, and, just like worrying myself even more, and just building that fucking anxiety. And it was just like, I wouldn't call it anxiety because at first, like, I didn't know what the fuck it was. I just thought it was like, okay, the withdrawals. And I would be at places, and even just like with some family, and it would just literally be me overthinking shit. Like, I wasn't drinking either, and I wasn't drinking anymore. And I just think like, they were so used to asking me, oh, you want a beer? Like, this, and that. And, obviously I'd say yes before, but now it's like, oh no, I'm good, and then they start asking these questions, and then all this and that. And then, like, it's because like, when you go to parties, like, drinking is just so like acceptable now. Like, it's okay, to have a couple beers, this and that. I'm, my family's Mexican, and it's like, the fucking Mexican parties, they be alcohol everywhere, and I just thought like they were going to think I was different and like not normal or something like that because I didn't want to drink anymore, because I actually cared about my health, about my mental health, and all this shit. And, thinking about that stuff and just overthinking it was giving me more anxiety. Like, I just, my heart would then start racing, and I'd be like, fuck, like, what's going on? Like, am I okay? And it'd get, more and more, and I'd be like, fuck, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. I feel like I can't breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys, like, it was a horrible like experience, and it took some time, and I just say like, I feel funny. I wasn't calling it's because I didn't really know it was anxiety, until I started doing research on it and, reading more. I was reading more books about like addiction and stuff like that. And, how to like recover and all these things. And in those books, like mental health came up and like anxiety and stuff like that. So that's where, I was like, I think like I be getting anxiety, and it's really like me making that to myself, if that makes sense, because you have the power, you guys. Like anxiety, from what I have experienced, it's just overthinking and having all these negative thoughts. Like, if I was going to do something, I just think the worst about it. I'd get anxious. I'd build that anxiety.